Hello and welcome. This is a short little sequence for low back and sciatica, and it's all done in a chair. So find a comfortable seat and we'll get started. We'll start by bringing the right ankle just to the front of the left knee here, with the left foot firmly planted, and then we'll let the right knee be heavy. So I'm just going to place my hand just on my knee and just let it relax. This is like our pigeon pose, but we're doing it from our chair today. So we're going to inhale and get really long through the spine, reaching the crown of the head up. And if you're comfortable like this, you just stay there. If you need a little bit more stretch through the hip, we'll take a straight back and lean forward, keeping the back straight. So we're not going to round over, we're not going to round through the spine or through the shoulders. We're going to keep that flat back and just press just gently forward until you feel the right amount of comfortable stretch through the belly of that thigh muscle on the inside of the thigh, these hip flexors. And then we'll just hold there for a few breaths. We don't want to feel any pinching pain or anything that feels like popping or really pinpoint or any zip zapping kind of feeling. That would be nerves, and we don't want to do that. So we're just going to hold here for a few breaths. And we're going to work to keep the neck in line with the spine, so we'll dip the chin just slightly so that we feel long through the back of the neck. We'll do 2 more breath cycles here, looking down at a space a few feet in front of your toes. And then we will switch legs. So we'll plant that right foot and bring the left ankle to the front of the right knee. And we'll let that left knee be heavy. This side may feel really different than the other side. You may feel it in a different place or with a little bit different intensity. That's quite normal. And so we'll start by really getting long through the spine, reaching the crown of the head upward, dipping the chin slightly, feeling long through the back of the neck, hugging in through the abs, and then we'll just slightly start to lean forward if it's comfortable for you. This side, again, may be very different from the other, so listen to your body and notice what sensations are coming up for you here. Maybe you're feeling it along the outside or the inside of that left thigh. And we'll breathe into that side and let the shoulders relax down the back body, but not rounding over. Again, we're going to keep the spine as long as possible and just leaning forward, maintaining that flat back position. And then we'll take a few breath cycles here in our pigeon in the chair. Connecting to the breath, hugging in a little bit through the abs to help stay long through the low back. And relaxing anywhere you can find to relax. So maybe that right ankle is a little tense, and we can just let it relax. Relaxing through the jaw. Relaxing the elbows. And we'll take 2 more breath cycles here. And then we'll gently bring our foot back down. And we'll bring the hands to the knees for a little seated cat-cow. So on an inhale, we're going to draw the chest forward, bring the shoulder blades back together and lean forward and look up slightly, not craning the neck, but just looking up a little bit. And exhale, we're going to round through the low spine, round through the upper back, drop the head. Inhale, press the chest forward, draw the shoulder blades together, lean forward. And exhale, rounding through low back, mid back, upper back, drop the head. Hug in through the belly. Inhale, pressing the chest forward. And exhale, rounding through the spine, hugging in the abs, dropping the head. And one more time, both inhale, look forward, press the chest forward. And exhale, rounding through the spine. And then we'll come back to center. And we'll do a seated hamstring stretch. So our hamstrings back here get really tight, especially when we sit a lot. So we're going to take the right foot, flexing the right foot. I have to scoot up a little on my chair because I have short legs. So find a comfortable place for you. Perhaps that is on the edge of your chair, or maybe you're back there. We're going to bring the heel down to the ground and press the heel down into the floor. And we're going to lift up through the spine. And if this feels really good, you can just stay here and enjoy this stretch. If you need a little bit more stretch, we're going to lean forward again, just like in pigeon pose, keeping a straight spine, flat spine. And you can lean forward just until you start to really feel it, not until you get the zing, but just when you feel a stretch through the broad part of that hamstring muscle back here. And then we'll hold here. And we're going to hold this for 3 more breath cycles, reaching the toes up towards the face, keeping that straight back. And then one more breath here. Great. Then we'll switch. So we'll bring the right foot down flat and extend the left foot out long, reaching the toes up towards the ceiling and pressing down into the left heel. And again, we're going to find our comfortable stretch on this side. So we'll start by finding that long back, like we have a string reaching up out of the crown of the head, and resting the hands comfortably on the thighs. And then we'll see if you want to tip forward just a little bit, maintaining that straight back. And find that place, really comfortable stretch, and then we'll stay there, feeling long through the back of the neck, allowing the shoulders to, again, relax, but not rounding through. So keeping the shoulder blades pulled together just slightly so that we can maintain that straight spine. And we'll hold here for 3 more breath cycles. And one more breath here. And then we'll slowly come back up and bring the feet back again flat. For the next stretch, we're going to move the chair out slightly to the side like this. So we're going to use the seat. I'm going to bring the right foot up and take the left hand to the outside of that right knee. And we're going to take the right hand to the hip. And with our long, straight back, we're going to gently twist over towards the right. So we're going to look over towards the right, and we can let the hips just kind of move gently along with us. But our twisting is mostly up here through the torso. Finding a comfortable twist, not wrenching through the neck or pressing too hard into our twist. Being very mindful and moving very gently. And we'll hold here for a few more breaths. hugging in through the abs. Feeling that long low back feeling. One more breath. And then gently come back to center. Bring the right foot down and bring the left foot up. Take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, hand on the hip, left hand on your hip, and then we'll gently twist over to the left. And again, we'll notice that right hip wants to come along. We can let it come along just a little bit to protect the hip joints here. Relaxing the shoulders down, away from the ears. I'm finding a really comfortable twisting place. And checking in with our alignment so that we have the head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. We can shift a little in space until you feel that feeling where you feel like you are lined up. And we'll take 2 more breaths here, all the way down into the belly. All right, great. Next, we'll keep the chair here and we'll take the feet out a little bit wider than the chair, a little bit wider than hip width apart. And on an inhale, we'll lift up and reach up. And exhale, we'll fold forward onto the chair, keeping a flat back. And I'm going to hold on to the back of my chair here and then let the shoulders drop down. And so maybe you shift your chair a little bit. And we'll bring the toes so that they are parallel. And take the heels out just a little tiny bit. So now we're just a little bit pigeon-toed. And then drop the chest. And hug in through the low abs. And we'll take a few breaths here. And as we stay here a little bit longer, you might find you want to widen your feet just a little bit, or not. That's okay too. And we'll take a few more breaths here. Feeling the widening of the low back. Feeling it widening left to right. And keep the knees just slightly bent so that we're not hyperextending the knees. And then slowly we'll bring ourselves back up to standing and bring the feet back together. And then we'll bring one foot in front of the other. So I've got my right foot in front, my left foot behind, and my feet mostly parallel. And then we'll inhale and lift up, reach up, look up slightly, and then exhale, we'll come back to the hands down to the chair and let the chest sink down again. And maybe you want to shift the chair a little bit more so you can feel a stretch through the shoulders. Find a comfortable stretch through the back of this right leg. Keep the hips facing forward and hug in through the belly, firming up through the low ribs, the low abs. We'll take 2 more breath cycles on this side. And then slowly we'll walk ourselves back up to standing and switch feet. So now the left foot is in front and the right foot is in back, a few feet apart, whichever distance is comfortable for you. And this side may be different, so we'll test it out. Inhale, lift up, reach up. And exhale, we'll dive forward, reaching for the back of that chair. And allowing the chest to sink forward, hugging in through the abs. Micro bend in the knees here again to keep from hyperextending through those knees. And notice if you need to change your stance, maybe shorten it or widen it so that you feel the stretch through the back of this leg, the left leg. Keeping the neck in line with the spine. So we're not going to sink the head too far down. And then take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly we'll press ourselves back up. And we're going to come back to seated. Bring your hands to your knees. And we're going to do some low back circles. So our circle action is going to come from the low back. So we're going to lean forward and come around clockwise and around through the spine. And then come back forward and around. So a little bit like our cat-cow, but instead of really working through the torso, through the chest, we're really noticing the low back here is doing the work. So we're initiating movement from the low back, and then we'll switch our circles counterclockwise. My chair is creaking. Oh, creaky chair. And one more time counterclockwise. And then coming back to center. And we'll take a nice big breath from the belly all the way up, filling up to the collarbones, and then exhale the collarbones all the way down to the belly. And take a moment to relax through the ankles, relax through the thighs. Let the seat be heavy into your chair. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw relax. And notice how you feel. Thank you for practicing with me today.